Etymology and historical origin of the baby name Bret. Bret is a name of French origin, referring to the Bretons, a Celtic tribe who were displaced from the southwestern region of England in the 6th century and driven to the northwestern area of France, known as Brittany, by invading Anglo-Saxons. The name developed into an English surname to signify a native of Brittany, France, which remains a French province and one of the 6 Celtic nations: Ireland, Scotland, Isle of Man, Wales, Cornwall and Brittany. Many of the Bretons were followers of William the Conqueror, Duke of Normandy, and later, after conquering the English, the first Norman king of England. They returned to their original homeland and resettled in East Anglia, where the surname Bret is still widespread. The first recorded spelling of the name was Brit, written in the Domesday Book of 1086. Personality of the boy named Bret. The number 2 personality in numerology is all about cooperation and balance. It's the number of diplomats and mediators. They are not leaders, but strive rather for harmony in partnerships. These are the peacemakers. Equality and fairness are important in their dealings, and they are willing to share power and responsibility to achieve a harmonious outcome. This personality is calm and patient, waiting for things to evolve instead of pushing aggressively for an outcome. They are good-natured and easygoing, and care deeply on an emotional and spiritual plane. 2s appreciate beauty and nature and are intent on making the world a better place. Popularity of the boy named Bret. Bret is a seemingly cool, hip and modern name, first appearing on the American male naming charts relatively recently in 1946. But what's interesting about this name is its historic significance to those interested in or proud of Celtic heritage, specifically the Bretons as opposed to the Gaelic people. The Gaelic folks are generally found in Ireland, Isle of Man, and the Highlands of Scotland. The Bretons are from Cornwall, Wales, and Brittany. The Gaelic sects far outnumber the Bretons, so it's even more remarkable that they've managed to maintain their Celtic culture, languages, and traditions to this day. They have held up their ethnic identity since the Iron Age, despite invasions and/or occupancies by the Romans, the Vikings, the Anglo-Saxons, and finally the Normans. Most indigenous British people would just accept new cultures and traditions forced upon them and ultimately assimilate, but the Bretons have persevered and triumphed, refusing to let go of their own common identity. It's for this reason we find Bret a very interesting and significant choice and a name for those parents who are fans of Celtic history. Bret is a name that has been most popular in the 1970s and 80s. Today he is barely used in moderation. It's a strong one-syllable name, straightforward and confident. It's like selecting Scot, Scottish, Dane, Danish, Finn, Finnish, Frank, French, or Aaron, Irish, as your child's given name. We just think that's a pretty cool way of demonstrating ethnic pride. Quick facts on Bret. Gender, boy. Origin, Celtic. Number of syllables, 1. Ranking popularity, 672. Pronunciation, Bret. Simple meaning, Breton, from Brittany. Characteristics of Bret. Nurturing, kind, balanced, sensitive, gracious, patient, considerate, cooperative, compassionate, loving. Cultural references to the baby name, Bret. Literary characters of the baby name Bret. Lady, Bret Ashley is really the only female character of Ernest Hemingway's 1926 novel, The Sun Also Rises, about a group of Americans and British in France and Spain post-World War I. Bret is beautiful, willful, independent and thoroughly modern. But of course, she is not happy. Having lost her true love during the war, she is unable to commit to any one man. This includes the American expatriate, Jake Barnes, whom she sincerely loves, but with whom she is unable to have a physically complete relationship. Bret is a fascinating study of a new woman emerging after a cataclysmic war and before a devastating depression, a world in which many felt rudderless, left drifting on a landscape that had forever changed, trying to carve a new order out of lost myths. Lady Bret Ashley is none too successful at it. The novel's end finds her alone and penniless and nostalgic for what might have been but never was. Famous people named Bret. Brett Butler, baseball, Brett Butler, comedian, Brett Gardner, baseball player, Brett Hull, hockey player, Brett Favre, football player, Brett Sterling, hockey player, Brett Summers, actress.